This is Michael Orrell of mobileburn.com, and I'm going to give you a quick overview of the Microsoft Kin 1. It's a new device for Verizon Wireless built by Sharp for Microsoft. See, it says Kin right there, a nice logo, and it says Windows Phone, Verizon, and Sharp. Now, this doesn't imply that it's a Windows Phone 7 series device, because it's not, but it definitely seems to have a number of things in common. When you look at the UI, you'll see what I mean. Take a quick look at the hardware. Little sticker says 3G by Qualcomm. This is the power button in a kind of an odd location in the upper right hand corner, as is the camera shutter button. Very unusual looking, but it has a different feel to it. It's quite easy to find as long as you don't press it by accident. You can remove the rear cover here. No real reason to do so though, because there's no memory card slot or anything under there, just the battery, and you won't be changing that too often. And just quickly, for those of you that like to see the internals, this is the Kin 1 with the back removed. As I mentioned, there's no micro SD memory card slot. This device has 4 gigs of internal storage, cannot be expanded. 3.5mm headphone jack. Controversial position for the volume control up here, and it's definitely difficult to get to when you slide the device open, which obviously it can do. Slides open to reveal the QWERTY keyboard. There's the micro USB charging port right there. You can see the keyboard. I'm a decent fan of the keyboard. It's got a lot of feedback to it. It's a little clicky, a little loud, I guess you would say, especially the space bar. But otherwise, it has a pretty good feel. My only issues would be that you have to use a function button to get to a comma, which is something I hit fairly often or whatever. Otherwise, it's okay. Quick button to access search. This button here launches the phone application. It's not a call send or call end button like you would find on most devices, but it's, at least will launch the application. Up here is a dedicated back button. You can long press that to get to the main screen, and I'll show you what that is. This display here, it's a QVGA resolution capacitive touch screen. So I'm going to turn on the device by hitting the power button here, and you'll see the unlock screen. You'll also get pop-up messages when you have text messages there or something like that. You can even tap on the time while the screen's still locked to see some status information, 3G signal, battery strength, all that kind of stuff. Kind of cool. Anyway, unlock the device, just peel away the screen. This screen here is called the Loop. Up top has the most recent status update you've done. You can see that's coming from me. And then down below are all the updates from your social networking services and RSS feeds. I've got MobileBurn's RSS feed in here, Facebook and MySpace feeds as well. You can see this is from Todd, our editor in New York City. He just uploaded a new photo, so it'll download it over Verizon's 3G network. Then we'll have full access to the photo. Now the photo is loaded. You can see, tap on the screen there. You can see there's one commented on it already. But also, you can see we have double touch, multi-touch rather, zoom controlling, and double tap single to get these controls up here. I'm gonna take a look and see what that comment is. One of Todd's friends, obviously. Back button to go back here. Now you notice that there are a number of MySpace updates all right here in a row. Our test account doesn't have many friends, and this is one of the founders, Tom. What happens when you add a feed, all those items in that feed show up as new. It doesn't resort everything chronologically, so even though this update here was from December, it still shows it above, say, some of the MobileBurn RSS entries that came in this morning. So anyway, one of the things that's worth pointing out is this doesn't really do well as Twitter. You can do an update quite easily for MySpace, Twitter, and Facebook. Type something in here and send it to all of them, or not send it to Twitter, or MySpace, or whatever you want to do, and that works pretty well. But there's no reply functionality inside of the Twitter support, even though you can add comments and such to Facebook, and MySpace entries. So it's kind of little bit of a letdown. I'm not a Facebook user or a MySpace user. I'm a Twitter user, and the least amount of functionality comes with Twitter. Also see that you don't always see the full entry, so we have to tap on it to get it to come up. So here's the full Twitter entry from my friend Eric. But now that we've shown you the loop and what goes on here, I'll show you how some of the other UI features in the device work. This is the main menu here, if you want to call it that, I guess. You have messaging, the phone app, email, the web browser. This is the Zune player. Here's your photo galleries, settings, the alarm, feed reader, and this is where your social feeds are all put in here. So I actually have the Twitter feed turned off now, so I'm not getting any new Twitter entries on the loop, that home screen there. You do that by setting whether it's a favorite or not. And also as such, I've added a feed. I added Mobile Burn, and then in this More menu here, I made it a favorite. So if I were to unfavorite it, it would disappear off the loop, the main home screen there. So it's kind of cool. So you can add pretty much what you want to the main screen of the device, which I like. Here's search functionality. You don't really need to use that too often, because as I'll show you a little bit later, you can just start searching right from the home screen. There's contacts, and there's a better way to get to contacts, and I'll show you that also. And you can even have bookmarks, web pages saved here. So let's go to long press. Actually, I'll show you what this recent button does. It shows recently run applications. So we can jump, here, we were just in the feed reader, by going to recent and hitting that, we can get right back to it. I'm going to long press the back button here and show you how it takes you to the loop, the main home screen again. And if you swipe over to the right, these are your contacts. The ones with pictures are your favorites that you've specified to show up as favorites, and you can position them where you like. And then of course there's the all contacts thing, so you can go through and look at all of your contacts here. Now, as I mentioned, you can just start searching by typing. So I'm going to type in Doe here, and you'll automatically see results for Jane Doe and John Doe coming from my contacts, at which point I could tap on the record to bring it up. You can see we can link it with multiple contacts, because you might have Jane Doe in Facebook, Twitter, and all these different places. You can link them together that way, just like you might in Moto Blur or in Palm's WebOS. Mark it as a favorite to get it to show up on the home screen, or not on the home screen, but on the contact screen, or delete it. You can also edit it, and you can add additional information. Add phone numbers, IM addresses. Now, it's worth noting that even though you can add an IM address, there's no IM support in the device. Birthdays, anniversaries, address, all that kind of stuff. A good amount of detail. I'm going to jump over to the contacts here and just show you how they come up. There's our favorite contact for Jane Doe here. You tap on the contact and you can quickly call the person, send them a text message, or open the contact record. So it's pretty easy to use. It's quite quick. Visually you can scan and see all your favorites. You can always just type in a name and search or whatever, but I find this to be quite a good way to find a contact in a hurry. I'm going to show you how the text messaging notifications work. I should see a message from me pop up in a second here. And there it is. You can see it shows my name, the message, and my photo as well. I'm going to continue to unlock the screen. You can see it also puts the same notification up on the loop. I can still go left and right into contacts or apps, but the loop's kind of locked down now until I acknowledge that message. And go back over here and go into messaging. You can see there's 6 messages there that have been unread, and you can see there's the new message from me as well. Also, you can see that there was a missed call from Jane Doe here. Go in here and we can take a look at it. You can see these are the messages. I keep sending the same thing over and over again as I'm doing multiple takes, but it's a totally threaded messaging system. We can send something back. Here's a reply. Send it off. Now you notice there's no auto capitalization. If I don't use the shift buttons, it's all lowercase, which is really annoying. Can't do double space to get a period or anything like that. I automatically stays in lowercase. Doesn't get automatically made into uppercase. So real, just like a half-baked kind of thing. Microsoft could put a little bit more effort into getting this texting aspect. I mean, this is what this device is supposed to be doing. But in any case, you can see that it's threaded messaging. This is what you send out. This is the gray, and this is what comes in. I'm sending this to myself in order to make it easier to see here. So gray is what you type, and the dark font is what somebody else sends back to you. See? If I jump out back here to the main loop again, everything's back to normal. So let's say we've got this photo. I'm going to show you how. There's a message I just sent. What you see on the screen right now is a missed call notification. Works the same way as text messaging, and I'm going to show you what it looks like when you actually have the call coming in. I'm dialing right now from another phone, so I could be doing something here, moving through the menus or whatever. Then when the call from Jane comes in, you answer the call by peeling up the screen just like you would with the unlock. You can ignore it, or you can choose to ignore the call and send a text message instead. I'm going to answer it just so you can see what it looks like. Now we've got speakerphone, the ability to mute it, and flash is what you use to switch between two calls. If you're, say, you got two different parties, one on one call, and then you choose to take another inbound call, so you can switch back and forth between them. And of course, you can always just end the call. Now we're back here, the main menu. If you look at messages, let me pop out. You can see I had a missed call from Jane. That was the one you had seen on the screen initially. This is the email client in the Kin. Support for all sorts of different email systems. You can use Exchange, even though the target demographic probably doesn't use Exchange much. Easy setup wizards for Gmail, AOL Mail, and stuff like that. This is a Gmail account, test account we have here, and you can tell by the fact that there's little strips on the left or right hand side of the screen that there are things you can swipe to, and that's consistent throughout the system. You can see there's nothing here on the edge now. It means we're already at the rightmost pane, this test email account here. Just going to tap the message, bring it up. Now you can see when I sent this, I sent it with bolded text, italics, and colors, and none of that came through. So it doesn't appear to have good HTML email support. Go back here, and you can see I'm trying to send a message out. It says one unsent message, and when I sync it, it throws an error message. It appears to be a problem with maybe the Gmail configuration for outbound messages. You can switch to folders here, and we'll move down to the outbox, and you can see the message sitting there. This is the message I tried to send to one of the other test accounts. What we're going to do here is just delete this message. I guess we'll pull it up again, hit the more box here, and we can forward, delete, mark unread or whatever. I'm just going to delete it and get it out of here, and hopefully we'll be able to sync again once we move back to the main inbox. I'm going to force a sync here. You can set the time period for how long you want it to sync, but that one setting works for all the email accounts pretty much. So it's not a lot of fine detail, fine level configuration options for the email accounts on the system, but it does seem to support email pretty well in general. It's a quite usable system. And I like how you can swipe back and forth, to different accounts and stuff like that. It works pretty well. So let's go back into this one message here. We're going to hit the More button so you can see some of the options, and we're not going to forward it. You can mark it unread or something like that, but really what I want to do here is reply to it. You can see you can reply all or just reply to that individual person. I'm just going to reply to that particular account. Say, this is a test. I'm going to misspell message here. So I put massage instead by accident. Now there's no cursor control, there's no D-pad or anything like that, so somewhat like the original Storm from BlackBerry, you have to long press and then you can navigate. I believe the iPhone also works like that, so I'm going to works pretty decently there. I've not found it to work everywhere though, so I'm going to have to pay a little bit more attention now. I've had problems entering some text fields, maybe inputs for configurations or whatever. It didn't seem to work so well. But anyway, here's a quick message, and we're just going to send it off.